So for lesson 3, what we're going to do is we're going to be sketching transformation of sine and cosine. But we have to really understand this because right now what we're doing is, here's the function. Can we graph it? Right? That's our job for today. That's what we're going to try to learn today. Now, later on, what we're going to do is we're going to go, here's the graph. Can you find the equation? Can we do that one? Okay? So we really have to go back and forth between these two skills. So it says here, let's recap what we have. It says here, recall that A represents the amplitude, but the amplitude is basically a vertical, in terms of a transformation, it's a vertical stretching or vertically compressing, right? And if A is negative, it just gets reflected down. Now B is the horizontal stretching and compression, and if B is negative, the graph is reflected over the y-axis. H is a horizontal shift, and in this case, we actually use the letter C for horizontal shifting, basically the effects of the starting point. Everything shifts to the right or to the left, and then the K or the D in this case represents the vertical translation and affects the median line. So here, let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to try to write down every single thing in this form. So y is equals to A times sine of B, brackets B, brackets again, x minus c plus d. So once we look at this one, I'll show you how can we write this in this kind of completed form. So y is equals to negative 3 sine of 2 times x minus 0 plus 0. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that we understand that there are some transformation that happen here, but not all 4 different kinds of transformations, right? So just to make sure that we're all clear on what transformation happened. So in that particular case, can you explain in words what kind of transformation happened?
From which side to which side?
It doesn't matter. Vertical stretch by a factor of 3, yeah. And then it's reflected down, yeah, reflected, right? Over the x-axis. And what else?
Horizontal compression.
Horizontal compression by a factor of 2. By a factor of half. Yeah, the B is 2, so the factor is of a half. No horizontal shifting, no vertical shifting. So how are we going to do this? So the first thing is start off with this, the D. Okay, the D says it's at 0, so our median line is starting at 0. Median line starts at 0. So step 1. Median line. So draw your median line. Now, looking at this, step number 2, we're going to try to figure out the amplitude. What's the amplitude for this? Amplitude is how far up and down do we need to go? 3. Amplitude is the A value, but then it has to be the positive A value. Amplitude of negative 3 is 3. So that means we're going to go as far up as 3 So I'm going to draw a line there, like a boundary, right there. But this is not an asymptote, just to let you know, because I use the word boundary. We don't want to confuse ourselves here. We know our graph, our sinusoidal function will fluctuate between -3, +3. Yes? You're okay with that? Okay. So, that's that piece. Step 1, draw your median line. I'll put draw. And then we're going to figure out the amplitude, and then we're going to figure out how far up and how far down do we need to go. Now, that means, what's our maximum?
3.
Maximum. Our maximum will go as far up as 3. And what's our minimum? Our minimum will go as far down as -3. Okay, so that's good. Because if you go anything above that, not good, right? And if you go anything below, not good either. So it has to be. And if you don't reach a maximum, that's not good. And if you don't reach a minimum, that's not good either. So it has to fluctuate between those 2 points, those 2 lines. Okay, now what's the next thing that we got to do? We got to set it up so that we can figure out the step 3 period. Period. What's our period?
Pi.
Pi, yes. Because period is equals to 2 pi over b, and then our b value is 2. So that means b is equals to 2 pi over 2. Period is pi. So that means 1 complete cycle in pi radians. Okay, so from here to there, and go as far as up as 3, go as low as -3. So this is a sine function. We know that our sine function kind of goes like this, right? From the median line. That's what our sine function looks like. So this is our beginning. This is where we begin, and then this is where we end. But we want it to be pi. So begin 0 and at pi. Okay, what's next? From here, we're going to go at the middle again. Right? So that's, if you go to that little thing, that's right there. Okay, and then cut it, that half, cut it in half again. Where are you now? This half, cut it in half again, and then this half, cut it in half again. So, okay, stop right there. Do this very lightly, very, very lightly. So it kind of goes like this, lightly, down. Okay, what did we just do there? That's maximum of 3, minimum at -3. We've compressed it. But what else do we need to do?
Flip it.
Reflect it to where? Over the x-axis, right? We're going to flip it. We're going to flip this way over the x-axis. So this is going to stay, okay? It's because that's spread on the, then we're going to go here. And then this one goes up there. And then now, this is the real one. You can make a little bit darker. Make sure you have the nice curve in there. Like that. Let's try one more time. So how do we do this one? From another pi, middle, and another middle, but we have to go this way. Yeah, keep going with the pattern. Okay, now if you keep going with the pattern, what happens? Oops, too much. That's very, very impressive. Okay, very nice.
What if we have a compression that's not so nice?
Then what we have to do is that if the compression is not super nice, then we have to make it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Mm-hmm.
You said that the period is pi, right?
Yeah, period is pi. Yeah.
We should tell on pi, or we should do like the second.
Oh no, the period is pi, so that means that's one complete wave. One complete cycle is pi radians.
Yeah, so we should start there.
No. That means another wave is another pi, another wave is another pi. Yeah, they didn't set what the domain is.
They just said 2 cycles.
Yeah, did they just say 2 cycles? Yeah, we got 2 cycles. Do we get 2 cycles? 1. Oh yeah, we went over. This is 1 cycle. This is 2 cycles. Yes? Good. And that looks really good. Yeah, we went over 2 cycles. Any questions there? Now this one, I would have to make an adjustment because we won't be able to fit that on our grid. So we're going to make an adjustment here. It says y cos of a half x minus 2. Minus 2. So otherwise we won't be able to do it on our grid. Okay, so did you get this? Minus 2. So what's our, I want to show the complete equation in here. Cos 1/2 brackets x minus, what do I put in here? Oh yeah, I had to change it to 2. Yeah. And then minus 2. What do I put over here? A, which is
0. 1.
1. Yeah. Yeah. Has to be 1. Okay? So, let's see if we could do this. Start with the median line. Start with median line. So our median line is at -2. That's our median. Okay. Now we're going to figure out the amplitude. What's the amplitude here? 1. So amplitude equals 1. So that means, how far up do we need to go? From median, we need to go up 1, and then from median, we have to go down 1. So what's our maximum value?
1. Or -1.
-1. Our maximum is negative. And what's our minimum value?
-3.
-3. Okay. What else? So there's that one. We did the vertical shift. We did the amplitude, that's 1. Now we gotta do the b. So period is equals to 2 pi over b. So that means p is equals to 2 pi over 1/2. Okay, what does that give us? Period is equals to, what's 2 divided by 1/2? 4 pi. So that means our whole cycle is gonna go 4 pi. Period is 4 pi. Okay, now let's go back. What does a cosine look like? Cosine looks like up. It goes like that, right? That's what cosine looks like. Okay, so no phase shift, so we're gonna start here up to 4 pi. So from here to there, that's one whole cycle. Maximum to the next maximum is 4 pi. Maximum to the next maximum is 4 pi. Where would the middle be? The middle is a minimum. So the middle of that would be minimum. Would be at 2 pi. And then half of the half is going to be at the median line.
It's for the original.
Yeah, there's no phase shift. So the only thing that happened here is it went down and it got compressed. So it's still going to be maximum, next maximum. So maximum. Graph kind of looks like that. Yeah. So think of it as everything just went down. So it's still maximum here.
Restretching it.
Yeah. We just brought the median line down. Okay, so next one. So from 4 pi to another 4 pi, that brings us to 8 pi. Half of that would be 6, and half of the half is here. That looks really, really nice. You don't need decimals for that. Yeah, we don't need a graphing calculator for that. Okay, is that good? Let's try another one. Sine function. Somebody describe what's happening with this sine function. Right? Okay. Yes, very good. So pi over 3 to the right and then 2 up. Okay, let's put everything together. Oh, I think I can. What's the A value here? 1. What's the B value here? 1. Okay, very good. So the very first thing that we're going to do is 2, median line. Median line. Median line. This is our median. Okay. Now from median line, what's the amplitude? Amplitude is 1. Okay. So that means from median line, we're going to go up 1, and then from median, down 1. So our maximum looks like it's 3. Our minimum looks like it's 1. Okay, yeah, what's next? We're not starting at 0, are we? We're starting at pi over 3 to the right. Where's pi over 3? Pi and pi over 3 is right here. So this is our starting point. Okay, so don't worry about what we have in here. Okay. So we have to count up to, oh, what's our period? 2 pi over 1, which is 2 pi. Okay. So 2 pi. This is going to be pi over 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's pi. 1, 2, 3. That's 2 pi. So this is a span of 2 pi. Is everybody okay? I'm gonna wait. So this is my starting point, median, and then shifted to the right. Okay. Shifted to the right, pi over 3 up 2. That's my starting point. And I'm gonna go from median to the next median, and in the middle, half of that is max, half of the other half is the minimum. You okay with that? I have another strategy if you would rather have that. So, graph. Okay. So pi over 3, 1, 2, 3, so that's pi, 1, 2, 3, that's 2 pi. Then half it, and then half it again. Is that good? You okay? Any comments about that? Here's the other possibility. Here's the other possibility. We're gonna come up with the same graph, but here's the other possibility. Draw the median. Figure out how far up and how far down using your amplitude. And then from there, graph your sine function. Graph your sine function. And once you have the graph of the sine function, now shift it to the right, every point, shift everything to the right pi over 3. So that's a possibility. Okay? Is that good? Let's try one more. I'm gonna try D together with you, and then you can try the E on your own. Okay, so what do you think? What's happening in here? Vertical compression. Okay, vertical compression by a factor of a half. Compression by a factor of a half too. Vertical shift of positive vertical shift with 3, so up 3. Huh? Up 3. And then, yeah, pi, horizontal shift to the right, pi over 6. Okay, good. Now, the problem with this, it doesn't give us a lot of special lines to work with, so we have to do everything on our own. Okay, which is kind of good actually. I like it this way. So what we need to do, we have to do a little bit of planning. Our median line is 3, so use your ruler to do 3. So I get half 2. So 1, 2, 3. So this is my 3. Two, 3. I should do 3. 1 unit is 3. So this is 1, 2, 3.
Should median be too high?
And I have to go a half. Yeah, it's okay. I can extend it. That's not a big deal. Yeah. So the median is 3. Draw our line at 3. Now I'm going to go as far up as 3.5 because it's a half. And then, ooh, this is not cool. Okay, so our graph, even though it's kind of like this, we're gonna go median of 3. Amplitude is a half, so that's just going to be max is 3.5, minimum 2.5. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do period. Period is 2 pi over 2, so period is pi. Period is pi radians. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We're supposed to shift it to the right pi over 6. So what do you think we should go up by?
By 6?
Pi over 6, right? Because this is pi over 6, then we have to break the pi into 6 equal parts. So, where's my ruler? Oh, I can go this way. So, 1, 6, 2, 6. So this is what that one looks like. So what does a cos look like? What does cos look like? Maximum, minimum, maximum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the amplitude, the compression, this one, and then I'm gonna do this last. Okay? Is that okay? So, yeah. Do a little bit of a strategy, different strategy. So, from here, I'm gonna go maximum to my next maximum at pi. Maximum, so that's from maximum to the next maximum at pi. And in the middle of that would be pi halves, where the minimum is. And then half of that would be pi over 4. Okay, is that okay? Now we're gonna go one more. 2 pi. In between is the minimum. In between is the median. So that piece already have the amplitude at a half, compression by a factor of a half, vertical shift of 3. The next thing that we're going to do is shifting everything by pi over 6 to the right. So from here, every single point is shifted pi over 6. Bring it closer to me. that okay? Shifting everything by pi over 6. Erase the ones that you don't like, you don't need. Is that okay? So then we did this one last. So everything is shifted pi over 6 to the right. I'm going to try the last one. I'm actually going to give you this to you, a graph paper. So I'll pass this around. So take one, pass it to the next person. We're going to do this on a graph paper so that it's a little bit easier with the grid. It's easier with the grid. Do you like it? Do you like what you're doing? Yeah, it's not bad, eh? Do you want to do it on your own? Yeah, sure, you can do it on your own. I'll do it. Okay, so pass that paper around.
Still 2 cycles?
Yeah, still 2 cycles. Can you fit two cycles in there?
I can't. If I did it the long way.
Okay, depending on your scaling, right?
I know right now I won't be able to. Or wait, yeah, maybe I can squeeze it in. So it'll go over a little bit.
This is really... And it's a sine graph. Did I miss one? Just missed by one. How are you doing with your graph? You okay? So up to this point, I have the median line, the maximum, the minimum, and the period. I made it up to 4 pi. But I have to do two graphs, 2 waves. What's your scaling on the x?
By quarters.
Pi fourths. I did pi over 4 as well, right? Because my shifting is just pi, which is, it's not a bad phase shift. So I did up to 4 pi. That's right there. From median to the next median. Cut it in the middle. Max, min. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a phase shift now by pi. Oh, pi to the left, right? Left. So everything is moved to the left pi. So this is now back right there. This 2 pi is now back there. 3 pi is now That's okay. So now it's going like this. Erase the ones that you don't want. There you go.
Yeah, moved over.
What does that look like? For maximum, does it kind of look like a cosine graph? Well, we'll get to that one when we do trig identities. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. What scaling did you use?
I use quarters for the...
Quarters to the left and then quarter to the... Oh, that's okay. I know. I kind of thought about doing 0.5 as well, so it's not kind of squished like that. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Your job for tonight is to just kind of read this again, okay? Because tomorrow I'll give you a handout on graphing, practice on graphing, so that we're good at it. Okay? So, well, have a good evening, everybody, and see you all tomorrow.